Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Berean. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. This is called Mixtape, a Conspiracy Theory. So let's jump right in. First off, complete disclaimer this is all in jest, mostly. I'm going to bring up points and bring up things that are true. Um, most of everything I've been able to verify. I don't believe I'm going to say anything that is false, but some of my conclusions may be out there and off the wall because they're a little bit crazy. Let's just say um, things happen when you don't sleep and you get crazy ideas in your head and you can't get them out until you put them down. So boom, I made a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. So let's see if you find anything in this presentation that makes you go, huh? Go check it out. And with gusto. I love that word. I've been obsessed with it ever since I saw it in that Calvin and Hobbes strip. This is dating me. I remember seeing it in the newspaper. Like I said, gray beard, gray in the beard. So yeah, I'm old. But he's like he puts on his space helmet cape and he's like, I'm gonna go out with gusto. And I didn't know what that word meant, looked it up, and I was like, yes. And I'm like, this is a word I'm gonna use all the time, and I do, and it drives people crazy when I get a little sleep deprived. So here we go. Let's have some fun. All right. Okay, my mouse is jacked. All right. First things first. Let's do some history things. Let's do some terminology things. In the 80s, you made mixtapes. Mixtapes, because they were on tapes. Now, I made lots of mixtapes. I made lots of recordings as a young kid. Then transitioned into teenage years in the 90s. And guess what? We called them mixes because we don't want to call them mixtapes because they weren't on tapes, they were on CDs. Or a lot of people started calling them comps, short for compilations, because a lot of uh, labels and other things were putting together compilation discs of, hey, here's this new artist, here's this newest. So we always called them comps. That's what I always called them. And just side note, if you ever can get your hands on a compilation, go. You want to find something that's really weird, really cool, really fun, and just bizarre on all levels. It's called Starball Compilation. Go find it. I don't remember what it was put up by Starball Records. It's a great indie collection with lots of weird audio clips from shows and stuff. It's fun, it's funny, it's bizarre, it's great, it's hard to find. And let me know if you find one because my copy got lost in the purge. I won't get into the purge. But anyways, so that's what we called them. And then the aught teens and beyond, this is what this picture right here, this picture right here drives me crazy. Because no one in the 90s would ever write mixtape on a CD. They'd write mix or comp or something. They would not write mixtape. I graduated from high school in the 90s. Let me just say that's a pet peeve from all the graphics I saw. It's weird psyop trying to make us think this is what it was different. And no, my conclusion is that's not how it was. It's just people who didn't live in that time trying to put things together that makes sense. For example, this is not even a joke. A church hired a millennial to make a graphic for a sermon series called Repeat. 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 Let me repeat that one more time. Repeat. And what's the image that they put underneath it? Did they put a CD? No. They put a cassette tape under Repeat, which is the one thing you couldn't do on a cassette was repeat. You either had to rewind or play it over, flip it over, play it through the other side, and then flip it back over and get back to that song. And that's why I'm kind of thinking this is some millennial things they just don't get. They think they understand it, but there's a disconnect of information and lived experience. So yes, that's a little pet peeve. Sorry, like I said, fun rant, huh? Let's move on. So we're going to cover some definitions real quick. Video game, an electronic or digital game involved in interaction with the user interface and input device. So Mixtape, yes, is a video game. Visual novel, a narrative-driven video game that combines text-based storytelling with static or lightly animated artwork. And these have grown to, this is the general, it's grown, and this is what I think Mixtape really is. It's a visual novel, and interactive fiction is a form of digital storytelling where the reader plays an active role in the narrative. And I think this is what you would really put Mixtape at, but it's kind of in a weird spot between the two. Based on every clip of gameplay I've watched, it's like it's a visual novel. Like, you don't have to do this. You watch it. It's like I literally have no problem with visual novels. I've got 12 in my Steam library, most of which were for my daughter. But I did on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. I did a live stream of where I went through a game called Sunset Ashes. You know, I don't think anyone was on the stream. I went through it anyways. Did a live stream because, hey, who watches me? Nobody. But that's okay. I went through it. I went through all 4 endings to 100% that game, and it gets a little boring because you hear the story. But literally, yes, I have no problem with visual novels, but I don't consider them true video games. It's kind of like when people say they read, but really what they're doing is listen to audiobooks. Yeah, technically you're correct, but not really. It's kind of the same, but not really. And so that's why I think there's a lot of this weird disconnect, especially it's like, yeah, it's a video game, but it's not really. It's a visual novel, it's interactive fiction. I don't know. And really, I think only people that have truly played it and gone through it can give us an extremely articulate explanation of where it falls between visual novel and interactive fiction. I'm not that person. I should have started off with first. I have not played this game. I have no intention to play this game because simply of that one graphic that I kind of went off on that last slide. Because nope. You're trying to suck in the nostalgia, 90s nostalgia, because all the 80s nostalgia got worn out from Stranger Things. And, you know, ooh, well, we got to move up a decade. No, you don't. Please don't. So let's get to the fun part, shall we? Here's some fun theories. All right. The gaming journalists were paid for their ratings. I have no proof of this, but I'm 100% convinced of it. The game was made to win awards and not for gamers. This I believe 100%. I have no like I said, I have no evidence of it, but I believe it. This is a stepping stone game for studio promotion. And I think this could be a thing. And here's why. Because the studio that did it, I can never remember how to say it. Annapurna, they gave us Stray. Yeah, they gave us Stray. Stray's great. It's 100% great. Did it do well in sales? Not really. I mean, it did good for a non-major studio. It did well. But did people go out and buy it in droves? No, but it's a good game. I honestly can't remember last time I played it. It's been a while. I'm not even sure if I finished it or not. When you have one Switch and you fight between you and your two kids, you don't always get the time to play the games in your backlog on the Switch. That's why I'm kind of sticking to PC games at the moment, so I don't have to wrestle. Moving on. This is a psyop to mix nostalgia with modern messaging. Yes. Like I said, crazy psyop. Maybe? I don't know. Kinda? I do think there are people that think that if you can confuse the history, our history, even recent history, enough, they can convince you of something else. You know? It'd be like, I'm not even going to give an example, but just that's a crazy theory. But let's just move on and keep going. Still, I think it's quite probable. limited need for controls and interaction leaves you open to the narrative and messages. I only put that in there because it's a visual novel. And really, I mean, what you're supposed to be doing with a visual novel is paying attention to the story and getting involved and getting invested into the characters, of which, based on people that have actually played it, looking at review times of people that have played it and left reviews, not many people are getting invested in the characters themselves, and some of them find them quite annoying. So, let's just say, part of me thinks I've done more research, and I left this one in, just because it'd be funny if it's true. This was an idea for a TV show to capture that nostalgia, like Stranger Things did, but they couldn't get it greenlit, and so they went to Annapurna and said, "Hey, can you make this video game?" "Yeah, okay." And then, "Okay, what about the biggest conspiracy theory of them all? This game was funded and promoted by backers through shell corporations or financial investments of AAA games, gaming companies, and gaming studios to filter into this to make money off this game, because a lot of flops have been happening in the gaming industry with the quote-unquote AAA badge. You know, these major studios, a lot of them are dropping crap. A lot of them getting slack. A lot of them getting backlash. And it's kind of like, I go, and really they're like, because gaming developers and gaming studios have this war inside them that they're trying to battle out. And it's, we know what the gamers want. Here's what the gamers want. Here's what we want to do. And here's what we want to tell them they should think and believe and listen to and consume. And we're trying to force it on them, and it's not working. Because really, gamers are simple. We want fun, good story. And you don't even have to have a good story if the graphics are awesome. But it's got to be a combination. You know, we want a good game. There are pixel games selling like crazy now. I mean, 2D side-scrolling games that look like they're straight from the Super Nintendo that are selling like gangbusters from indie devs across the globe, because the game is fun. And it's not telling us something that we should think or believe or should address some concern in the modern zeitgeist. No. It's just a game. We're here for fun. We're here to escape. It's been stressful at work. I just want to come home, get something on, play something, escape for a minute, let my brain decompress with something that actually is entertaining, and move on. So that's where I got this little idea that they might be funded by AAA hedge funds, or I'm not sure how all that financial stuff works. Trust me, I'm not a money guy. I'll leave it to smarter people to figure that one out, if it's true. Like I said, conspiracy theories abound. That's why I put on the little Green Man hat today, because it's, hey, why not? Let's talk about review bombing. I mean, yes, are there games that get review bombed negatively? 100%. Are there ones? This is an example of positive review bombing. Scores like this across the board are rare. And the thing that should tip you off is seeing all these scores, and then you go watch the trailer for it, and if your brain doesn't go, "Oh yeah," then all these ratings look like paid ratings. I'm just sorry. It happens in the industry. I know it does. There was even one creator that even confessed he got a $200 promo pack from Annapurna to review and give a positive feedback on the game. So, yeah, do they do it? Sure. I did a live stream a couple weeks ago on a indie game that's coming out. It's not coming out yet. Did I get any compensation for it? No. Well, yes. I'm giving away one Steam key for that game when it's released. on my Twitter account. That's the only compensation. The only compensation is I'm getting a single key and I'm giving it to somebody. So personal compensation, zero. Compensation for people that love games, got one key. So I guess if you want to say I was compensated, okay, go for it. I'm 100% transparent. So yes, things like that happen. They reached out to me and say, would you do a live stream? Sure, why not? Let's have some fun. So yes, people get paid to review, and I'm a nobody. And I got a key to give away. And who knows? You know, maybe if I had a million subs and thousands of viewers every day, maybe I got a bigger package. Didn't want one, just want to have some fun on Sunday night. So, yes, that exists. It's true. But we have no concrete evidence of anyone specifically or any one group or sub company giving out money to people to positively review this. It's conspiracy theory. Like I said, we're having fun tonight. Okay. X1. I honestly, I didn't know what to call these. So, yep. Interactive fiction, visual novels, and narratives are fun and have their fan base. However, they're not widely consumed. Like I said before, I've got some. I've played some. My daughter loves them. She loves them. She loves the stories. And she's not playing, some Souls-like game or a shooter. She's doing visual novels. That's what she likes. She likes it. So it's not like this is a genre that is going to win awards without backing. So, but statistically speaking, most reviews of these genre games by gaming journalism websites at best hit around 8 to 10. Rare cases, I think I found one or two over the past 10 years that hit a perfect 10 that could be classified as visual novel or narrative driven games or interactive fiction, you know. But here's some examples. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, 4.5 out of 10 up to 10 out of 10. Detroit Becomes Human, the average rating was 7 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. And Life is Strange, which is a really popular one, it got a sequel, 6 out of 10 to 9 out of 10. And see, I did put a 10 out of 10 but it was not the overall. This is just the spectrum it's on. It's usually a wide spectrum. It's not 9.5 to 10 out of 10. It's like 7 to 10, 6 to 9, 4.5 to 10. There's a spectrum. It's not just boom, here we go. Everyone loves it. And visual novels are hit and miss, just like books are. Some books take off and everyone loves them. Some books are just like, yeah, these people love them, these people don't. That's just how it is. And that's how we should view interactive fiction and visual novels. Okay? Just saying. And here's a list, because I like to dump on IGN ever since they got bought out in 2013. Because I feel like they betrayed the independent gaming news channel. Independent Gaming Network? Is that what it was? I think that's the original acronym. There's a lot of fun acronyms out there that I can't repeat on this video because, hey, I don't want to get a strike. But anyways, let's just take a look. Here's some of the ones that they, As Dusk Falls, they gave a 9. The Walking Dead, they gave it 8.5 or 9, depending on which season it was. Life is Strange, 8.5. Necrobarista, 8, 7.5, 7, 6. The best one, As Dusk Falls. That's their highest rating for a visual novel or interactive fiction game they've ever given is As Dusk Falls. They give out 9 out of 10. And so automatically, and if you want to see, just go see what they scored. If you just look at the reviews and you're like, there's definitely something fishy going on there, especially when you look at what they gave, like Lollipop Chainsaw, Stellar Blade, you know, games like that. You're like, they didn't like those games at all. But man, they're awesome and they're fun. Well, I did play Stellar Blade. I don't own it yet, but I'm going to get a copy soon. That's on my list. But Lollipop Chainsaw, good stuff. And the stand defense. A lot of critique has been, it doesn't matter, you barely need the controller, which is in the case with interactive fiction, and I apologize again for having showing you a clip of one of the mini games that people are like, well, no, there's mini games and there's little things where you do. Yeah, in a lot of interactive fiction, there's things like that, but this is the mini game we get. Luckily, look at now. Luckily, my face is covering up part of that image. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It's a kissing minigame where you use. Yeah. And if you're like, well, let's keep in mind, these are teenagers. That's all I'm saying. They're teenagers. Teenage characters. That's all I'm saying. Think somebody should be asking questions about this. But hey, just putting it out there and seeing what happens. And here comes my another fun little rant for me. Defenseless Stan. I saw this image on Twitter and I about lost my mind. I was like, that's not true. That can't be really. That's really in the game. Well, the text and the circles and everything's on the game. But there's a mini game where you rewind the tape. There's so many things wrong with this. Let's see. You only rolled it like that when you had to get the tape that had come out back into the cassette. Or the only other explanation I can remember ever doing it is I needed to play it for like a play or something, and I had to turn it just back a little bit. When you can't do it with just one, you got to do both sides. You got to get it just right. So as soon as I pushed play, it was like a 2-second pause, and then boom, the song started for whatever, we needed that. Yes, because we didn't have MP3s in the 80s and 90s. Well, late 90s we did. But when this is supposed to be taking place, probably not so much. And the funny thing is after you're done with this minigame, you literally put it into a cassette player that has a rewind button on it. Of course it does. All cassette players have a rewind button. Not all of them had fast forward. No. Yeah. I don't think I've ever owned one that didn't have rewind and fast forward, because I always had to go both ways, spin both ways. Because what it would do, some of the modern ones, the more advanced ones, you wouldn't actually have to flip the tape. It would just start spinning backwards. So boop. So yeah, rewind and fast forward things on cassette players. Just saying. And the other big thing, literally wrote the name upside down. Wrote on it wrong. You wrote on it wrong. To Stacy from Colin. I'm sorry, that's not how you give it, because you put the cassette tape side, exposed tape side, into the plastic case, which means this would be flipped upside down, and what you read across is how you wrote it. You never put it in that way, because that's not how it would go in the cassette player either. Unless it was a Walkman, you would put it in top first. But almost every time you put it in tape first. Walkmans were the only time where you'd put it in top first and put down. But even then, you'd be still looking at it and you wanted to read it. That text is upside down. And like I said, I could dissect this image and just everything around this even more. But it hurts me a little bit inside. Like if someone said, hey, I need a new needle for my record player, and they literally put a sewing needle shoved a shoved a sewing needle. There we go. Can't say all that at once. Shoved a sewing needle inside the head of my record player to play it. It's like, yeah, we're not friends anymore. This makes me like, if someone did this in front of me, be like, we're not friends anymore. So let's just move on, because this is such an amazing game. Everyone loves this game. This is going to be a game that everyone's going to fall in love with all these scores and all this wonderful stuff, and everybody's going to be playing it. Let's check out those facts, shall we? Apples versus oranges, because let's pick out a game. At the time of these screenshots, Subnautica 2 had been out for 7 hours. 7 hours. Which means Mixtape had been out for a week and 7 hours. Max players right at the time, 446,000. Peak, 467K in 24 hours, because, well, there was only 7. That's why I said peak time 2 hours ago. Like, literally, the screenshot was from 7 hours of it being released. Peak, 2,224. All of these were people, I assume, were logging in to put a little bit of playtime on their counter to leave positive Steam reviews on the website. Because you had to play at least a little bit for it to be even counted among legitimate reviews. You have to have played it. You can't just own it. For it to count, you have to have playtime. I think that's what some of these numbers are. I could be wrong. Like I said, fun conspiracy time. So we're just having fun tonight. And I know this is not like me. And that just happens because sometimes you just have to have a little fun with the craziness. And yeah, those of you watching know why I picked oranges. I'm tired of hearing about that stuff too, but I had to get a little jab in there if Big Jared's watching. What are the oranges for? Anyways, in conclusion, this is just my conclusion. There wouldn't be drama around this game at all. People wouldn't be bashing on it or praising it if there weren't paid reviews. Because let's be honest, no one's attacking Big Fish Games, which is basically a step above shovelware when it comes to hidden object adventure games. I'm not dumping on Big Fish or hidden object adventure games. I actually kind of find them relaxing and soothing. I've played about 4 or 5 of them. Did one that was like I can't remember what it's called now. It's like something crystal, but it's basically the twist hidden object adventure game with a twist from the Cinderella story. Can't remember what it was, but yeah, Big Fish makes a lot of them, and I mean a lot. Like, the amount they put out is quite impressive, but it is mostly still graphics that move, little mouths that move. I mean, the graphics aren't amazing, but like I said, it's not shovelware, because they actually put time into the story, into the thought, into the puzzles and things, and the object, and the hidden things that you got to find. They actually put time and thought into it, but it's not top tier games. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just want to play a game that's just a little fun, and I'll be honest, Big Fish games, that's my guilty pleasure. Hidden object games, they're my guilty pleasure. They just like zen me out. And when I kind of want a little, I don't want to zone out too much, that's when I pull up a hidden object adventure game. They're fun, and like I said, not for everybody. They've got their niche. Big Fish knows their niche. They know what their people buy. That's what they make. So, no one's dumping on them. Probably not even people know about them. This may be the first time you're even hearing of Big Fish Studios. And like I said, are they incredible games? No. Are they fun? Kinda. Will I play through them again? Probably not. But, for $5-6, I get like 4 hours of fun, puzzles, story, interesting. Like I said, that price point makes sense. Now, if the price point was that for Mixtape, we might be having a little bit of a different discussion here. Maybe not. Well, at least the tone would be a little more calm, a little less aggressive, to say. But like I said, the whole point of this thing was I was feeling silly. I was seeing all this stuff. I wanted to make a video that was fun and funny. And this is what I came up with in my head. And I thought, what can I do that's silly and weird? Let's call it a conspiracy theory. Put on my alien beanie and have some fun and make a PowerPoint presentation because I'm a giant nerd and a geek and way too much caffeine and sugar because the kids have been home for about 2 days now and I'm just ramped up and just woo, baby. Yeah, we are living it up this summer for sure. So yeah, a little out there, that's okay. So it's just like I said, this was mostly in jest, but I wanted to put some points in there to make some people think, ask some questions. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.